Hey folks, Malforian here, and yes, you see it right. We've got a gameplay trailer for Grey Eminence and a closed alpha announcement. This is to replace the dev diary for this month, so we're just going to get through it. We're going to watch the video, talk about it, leave comments down below in the comments section. If you want to have a chat about it, we'll see what's all kind of shown off and announced in this post. And then, yeah, they also announced the dev diary's return next month as well. So it's not going to be too long a video today, but yeah, if you're interested in Grey Eminence, watch along, have a chat, and we'll see what they've got to say. So yeah, 1 year has passed since the announcement of Grey Eminence to the world. In the past 365 days, we've had a bit of a roller coaster, but they're thanking basically people for their support and faith of the, to try and get this game made. You know, historical grand strategy games are very hard to make, and this is very ambitious. If you've been watching it, all the progress they've made so far, it's a very ambitious game. I think it covers, it's like 600 years of history, obviously all the changes that is, and yeah, if they get this out as they want, it's going to be, I think, pretty amazing, or at least it's got the chance to be an amazing game. If you are new here and you kind of don't know what we're talking about, I have got a playlist, I'll put it in the description down below, of all the dev diaries and the initial announcement. So if it does look interesting, you want to kind of catch up to where things are at the moment, you can watch all those if you'd like. There'll be a link down below. So they're just going over here about, they have had some challenges. They did mention this, and I think in the last dev diary or the one before, it seems like they're having some issues trying to get funding for the game. They don't want to kind of water the game down too much just to get a funding deal. So it'd be interesting to see how that's gone. I mean, they've announced, they're kind of showing off alpha gameplay. So I guess they've made a lot of progress since they made the announcement, but it would be kind of interesting to know how that has gone. Obviously, they probably won't tell us. They're probably not going to tell us how that went, but yeah, it's good to see. At least they seem pretty positive about things. So that is cool because yeah, I think all of us, more competition in the grand strategy genre is always better. It's going to make all the different games better. It's going to help push the genre forwards a little bit more. So hopefully we do see this. And then, yep, there's the trailer here. We'll watch that in a minute after the end, and we can have a chat about it, see what they show off. And then, yeah, they're just saying here, obviously, if you support the game on Patreon, you basically get access to the alpha when it's released, the closed alpha. So that's going to be the only way to play it when it does come out. And they just go over the rules here of kind of how that is. Basically, you need to have subscribed to the Patreon long enough to activate getting the alpha gameplay. And then there's some other rules as well. All pretty obvious stuff. If you go to their Patreon, it talks about it there, and you can kind of see how you get access to it. But obviously, you can just wait. It'll be obviously purchasable normally through normal stores as well when it comes out. But yeah, if you do want to play the alpha, these are the rules to get access to it. And then one thing they do say here is they're optimistic with the current state of how the game's progressing, and they think they might be able to get it out in 2023. I'm going to be honest, I'd be amazed if this comes out this year. I'm not calling them lies or anything. It'd be awesome if it does come out. And obviously we'll see, I guess, with the closed alpha, how the game plays. But I think Grand Strategy, if we look at recent Grand Strategy releases, they've had a lot longer kind of being in production, being made before they've come out, and they were still delayed. Still had a lot of issues. Like I say, I'd be amazed if this does come out this year. It'd be awesome if it does. I'd rather they waited maybe and put some extra time in. Hopefully it is this year, but I'd be amazed personally. I think it'd probably come out early next year, but I'd rather wait and it was better than they rush it and it isn't as good. But obviously we'll see what they've got to say. And then yeah, just saying that they're looking forward to the year coming, and the dev diaries will restart next month, so we'll get some more dev diary coverage on the channel. Hopefully we get to see some things like warfare. As we've discussed recently, I kind of want to see how wars work. A lot of the recent ones have been financial, like how bankruptcy works, how different things like that work, which is all cool information. Yeah, how buildings work and diplomacy and all that. But I'd like to see kind of how warfare works, how that kind of the day-to-day gameplay works, which I guess, once we get alpha access, we'll see, at least at the moment, how that plays out. So that will answer some of those questions we've had. But yeah, that's the post for this month. Obviously, pretty big one because they're announcing the closed alpha. And then they've got the video here, so we're just going to watch this, and then we'll have a little chat about what's in there.
Witness the dawning of a new era in grand strategy gaming. Dive into a vast world of over 1 million tiles, a faithful recreation of Earth as it existed in the year 1356. Steer the fate of any one of over 700 countries, from the fractured polities of the Holy Roman Empire to the great Mongol hordes of Asia. Each country offers a unique playing experience. Its particular set of laws determine how its society works and how you can interact with it. Construct workshops and manufactories in a bid to urbanize your realm, or cut down the forests of old to make way for croplands and pastures. Seize territory along strategic trade routes to reap monopolistic profits, or venture across the seas to establish new networks into distant markets. Engage in the generational contest between dynasties and secure new domains through marriage and inheritance. The world of Grey Eminence is a living simulation, and soon enough, it'll be at your fingertips. Join our Patreon to be among the first to gain access to our upcoming Closed Alpha and help us write this new chapter in historical grand strategy.
So yeah, there you go. That was the trailer. It's got that grand strategy voiceover that I think all grand strategy game trailers have to have. I think it must be an unwritten rule. It sounds cool, so I'm not complaining. And then, as you've seen, they've actually shown off quite a bit there. Some of the stuff we haven't seen before. So I will just take a quick look through the trailer, and then we can have a chat in the comments down below. I'll be honest, the game actually looks way further progressed than I thought it might have been. And I've had some kind of doubts about how the map looks, but this has won me over a little bit. Some of the map views I'm not a massive fan of, but overall I'm pretty hype about how the game's looking. So yeah, we'll just take a look through some of these, kind of see what we see, and then obviously we can discuss it. So obviously here we go. We've got the over 1 million tiles. They've discussed this before. Again, if you're not sure how this works, as you can see here, these little hexes, let's see if we can get a better view of them. Here we go. Yeah, these hexes, every part of the map's basically made up of these hexes, and then each hex is made up of more hexes, which we'll see later on when they talk about forests, like how the map's created. The map is made of these hexes. They're kind of like where all your buildings and things like that are situated. So yeah, this is the map. Like I said, I don't know if this is, I guess this is just like the standard map view, like you would get in like EU4, where you can just see the countries. Like I say, I quite like it. I quite like the colors. Like, I'll be honest, kind of a funny thing to say, I guess, but I actually quite like how the colors look. all the different countries kind of stand out nicely. I kind of like that it's like a matte finish. That's just obviously personal preference, but I'm not sure about the edge. I don't know what it is. Just, I think like the coastlines, not having real coastline is the thing that throws me off. I wonder if when the game releases, they'll just have something that kind of smooths out the coastline, just like graphically, not like affects anything, just to make the coastlines look smoother. I think that's what it is. I think when I look at it, it just looks weird that the coastlines are so jagged. So that would be interesting to see if they're going to do that. I'd suggest doing that because I think it'll look a lot nicer. It looks nice, but I don't know. I think in my head, let me know what you think. In my head, it looks weird, I think, because the coastline isn't smooth. Like, I think that's what it is. I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, they're just showing obviously the Indian subcontinent here, kind of how the world looks. I think this is the 1356 when the game starts, how the world looks. And then I guess this is development, just because this is how it looks in, is it Crusader Kings? Yeah, in Crusader Kings it looks like this. So I'm going to guess it's development, and it's a high development area early in the game in Crusader Kings, so I'm guessing that's what it is here. It doesn't actually say, but I think that's what it must be, some kind of development. And then obviously 718 playable countries. This is obviously Japan here and China. One good thing I've noticed is, and I do like this, is the world is a globe. You'll see, obviously you saw in the trailer, like the world is a globe. It'd be interesting to see. I think we see later on actually that you can, yeah, it does look flat. Well, flat. No, even here it's curved. Yeah, I wonder how the map works day to day. I think it must look like this then, where it's generally flat and then kind of curves at the edge. I think it's to make it more easily viewable. If you've ever played Imperial Rome, it worked like that. The map was actually curved slightly, which was really cool actually. I actually really liked it, versus like EU4 or something where the map's flat, or Civilization where it's just a flat map. I do like that it's actually curved when you look at it, but yeah, it looks like the curve kind of hits later on when you're actually playing, so it doesn't look as curved as it does here, where it looks exceptionally curved around. So I imagine different zooms it'll look different, but yeah, obviously that's China, all the different countries they've got playing in here. And then yeah, this is obviously Europe and how the world looks. In the trailer itself, they're talking about the HRE here, how they've fashioned the HRE, as you can see, all the individual principalities and all those different, the Duchy of Munich here, kind of showing how it looks on the map. I think it looks, I don't know, it looks quite busy. People complain about border gore in in EU4 and Crusader Kings, like at least they're keeping the grand strategy border gore tradition alive. But yeah, I don't know, I quite like it. Again, I think it's just the jagged corners throws me off slightly. And then yeah, they've shown off some more here. We have seen some of these screens before. I don't think they've changed a great deal. I think they've just kind of cleaned them up a little bit. So this is the Duchy of Munich, aristocratic monarchy. Obviously Catholic, the portraits again. I quite like the portraits. I'd be interested to see how much variety there are of them, or if they're just the same like handful of portraits. I don't think they've covered that in the dev diaries. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they've covered like the variety of portraits, or whether whether they're like procedurally generated kind of thing. So there's like infinite amount basically. So yeah, anyway, so obviously he's the Duke, Duke Ludwig von Wittelsbach, dynastic Catholic Bavarian. And obviously this is the breakdown of Munich itself. Like I said, we've seen this before in the other dev diaries. They've got diplomatic relations, how much power they've got, the admin, the elites that are in this region, the age breakdown, obviously the military here, GDP, how bad inflation is, which they've covered in a previous dev diary, how inflation works, goods surplus, goods defects, because you do have trading. There's a really cool map view we'll see in a bit as well for trade. And yeah, so there we go. They're talking about the HRE and being able to play through that, obviously through the Golden Horde and being able to play as them as well, just showing off all the different areas of the world you can play. And then the laws, we've seen this before, but actually they've changed the layout of this screen, I think, the UI here. This is obviously just all the different ways you can, legitimacy, how the civil service works, taxation, organization of military, the autonomy of different regions, religious laws, all that kind of thing, like how things have changed. I guess these ones, I wonder if they mean they've been changed from the base or whether they can change them. I'm not sure. They haven't covered it. Like, I'm not sure what this means, whether they've been changed, whether they can change them like one time for whatever reason at the moment. But yeah, that's how all the laws work. There's something else here as well. I remember seeing, how the buildings work. So it's obviously more like, I guess, EU4 kind of mechanics of, or Victoria, to be honest, kind of building up your workshops, progressing. So obviously you do go from 1300s to the early 20th century, I think. I think it goes like 1920. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And obviously there's a lot of progression, a lot of technology changes in that time. And you've obviously got to make sure your country keeps up to date with all that. So you can build things here. And then we'll see. They've discussed this before, but actually, yeah, here we go. This is actually a really good way they show it is... they discussed before about, like, as I was saying, the tiles are then made up of smaller tiles, which we don't really see here, but you'll get the rough gist of it. And how they discussed, like, in early game, obviously everything's forested. Well, a lot of the land is forested, and you'll need to clear away that forest to free up space for other buildings and things like that. So, as you can see here, in this part of the trailer, they're actually placing logging camps to clear this wood away, I guess, to free up the space for adding different buildings there, because each tile has got a certain amount of tiles in it, and you need to chop down basically the woods to make space for the buildings. I think that was in one of the very early dev diaries on buildings, I think, where they discussed how that works. But I liked it. It's a cool system. And then as you can see here, this is the trade. Like, this kind of threw me off when I first saw it, like how this map view looks. This is the trade network. As you can see, it's insane. Look at all these trade networks they've got. I think they say, is it in the trailer? Just says logistics-based trade network. The voiceover, I think, says there's like thousands and thousands of routes, and as you can see, that there definitely is. But it does give, as he says in the voiceover, like strategic changes of like how you can control things. So kind of like it worked in EU4 in a way, but this sounds like it's going to be way more. Maybe in depth, like if you take whatever, is this Crete? Is it Crete? Crete or Malta? I always get them mixed up. Which one's which? Maybe this one's Malta. I can't remember. Somebody will shout at me in the comments. I always get these two mixed up. But yeah, I suppose if you own this node here, you basically cut off any trade from the Mamluks down here. They'd have to go round, I guess. Probably costs more, takes longer. Whereas here, you can take this node and look how much control you'd have over the kind of Mediterranean trade route down here. And yeah, so it's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be crazy seeing how this works. I mean, just look at it; it looks insane. So, but really promising. There's one thing I miss in a lot of grand strategy is like a really in-depth trade system. It kind of works like that in Victoria, but I think it's too gamified maybe in there. I don't know. It doesn't gel with me how it works in Victoria. So it'd be really interesting to see how it works here, because if there's a super in-depth trade system, it'd be amazing. You could play the game just like focusing on trade maybe or something, and just seeing how well you could do. Kind of like the Netherlands, historically made all their money through trade basically and things like that. So well, not all their money, but yeah, they were known for their trading and things like that. So it'd be interesting if you can do that. There's over 1,500 markets, so each one of these trade areas is basically a market as well. It'll be interesting to see how they work. I wonder if this is all one node here. Well, it says 1,500, so no, it must be, maybe it's these lighter ones. I'm not sure. It doesn't actually show you them in this bit, I don't think. Oh, wait, no, do you know what? It's probably these nodes. I guess these nodes are the local markets, and then these are the trade, like the routes that can go there. As you can see, look at them. They're crazy. Look how crazy they are. But yeah, I'd be interested to see how this works. It looks interesting, though. So yeah, the market side of it's going to be really, really cool. And what else have we got? We've got the Duchy of Styria. This is all talking about like how you can take over places through war, through marriage. We've got declare war, propose marriage, offer vassalage, request throne. Can I have that throne, please? Yes. Swear fealty, embargo, trade agreement, all the usual, grand strategy things. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be really, really cool how that works. Oh, here we go. No, they actually did a request throne in the video. So Albrecht II becomes the ruler of the duchy. All elites gain 10 favors. We gain a truce. Oh, I think this is where you go to the elites and go, can I be your king? Can I be your duke? And they go, yeah, let's kick out the old guy, put you in charge. Because it says the elites get 10 favors from you. So yeah, I think it seems like this works that way. They haven't discussed this in any of the dev diaries that I remember. But yeah, it looks like you basically go to them and say, get rid of that Duke Ortolf. He's bad. Put me in charge. Thank you very much. And they do it, and you owe them favors. And if they decline it, we lose prestige for 10 years. And you worsen, obviously. Yeah, relations worsen with 78 countries because, yeah, they're like, wait a minute, you tried stealing that duchy. We're not happy about that. So that's actually really cool if it does work that way. It'd be fun, kind of fun way to play. Like, that's kind of how that's going to work. Obviously, Austria, Styria. This looks like it's kind of relations map, I guess. It looks like these are like the different relations to Austria. And obviously, the previous screen was about Styria. But I guess these blue ones are other areas that like them. I don't think it's like lakes. Maybe it's lakes. I'm just reading too much into it. But I don't think it is. I think it's like other ones that like them. And then there's a gold one over here as well. That might be somebody else they're like married to or something like that. And then, yeah, this is just a map. I mean, this is crazy. Like, just look how big the map is. It's absolutely insane. And then I think that's basically it. Yep, that's basically it, guys. So, yeah, I just wanted to look through some of these screenshots because, well, some of this video stills because it is different. Well, no, it's the first time we've seen some of these mechanics and kind of how the map. This is our best look at the map that we've had since launch. So yeah, I just wanted to take a look through it. And then, as it says, if you want to be part of the closed alpha, if you go look at the Patreon and see what they've got to say over there, if you sign up or not, and we'll hopefully get to play the game soon and kind of see how it looks. But yeah, we're just gonna leave it there for today. I was gonna say a quick video, but it has been about 20 minutes now. So if you've reached this end, reached to the end even, hit the like button. You've obviously enjoyed the video, and if you're new here, I cover grand strategy games. I've been covering all the dev diaries for Grey Eminence, so if you are interested in the game and it's piqued your interest, if you subscribe to the channel, you'll get all the future stuff on the channel, and we'll chat about it and see what they've got to say for themselves. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I'm actually super happy it's the beginning of the year and they've shown this off, because it was, like I said, one of the things I said, like, we need to see kind of in-game progress after a year, and they they didn't listen to me, but I'm not going to take credit for it. But they obviously thought the same and thought it looks about time we showed some actual like in-game. We didn't see it running, but we've seen a lot more of the game than we have so far. Mainly it's been like UI things and things like that so far, which have been really good, but it's cool to see the actual game. I actually really like this map as well. So yeah, anyway, enough waffling on. Like it if you've enjoyed today's video. Subscribe, as I said, if you're new here and you want to follow along with this and other grand strategy games on the channel. But we'll leave it there for today, and I'll see you in the next one.